Alrighty, folks. We are back. Hopefully things have stabilized in the meantime. And yeah, so now we have the sequel to Newtopia. This is Newtopia 2, as, you know, kind of makes sense. This game is... You can tell it's a Newtopia game, but it is so different from the first one in so many ways that, and you'll see all throughout the run what I'm talking about. So yeah, tell you what, let's go ahead and get right into it. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, and now. So there's a difference right off the bat, is that you actually name your character in this one. Because we have scrolling text, we just want to give it a one-character name. So we have our hero, Tsu. Also, that was our hero from the previous game, Jazeta, taking a very quick death. This is his son, who we refer to affectionately as Jazz Jr. What's happening right here is he's watching this woman sleep while holding a shield, because that's normal. And she's telling him, oh my goodness, I just had a horrible dream. It was a vision of what happened to your father who's been missing for a year. Here, I'm going to give you this magic compass, which you will never ever use, and you are going to go out and find him. And good luck. Alrighty, so up we go. Very similar to the first game. In fact, what that guy says right there is, I'm still here from the first game. Isn't that great? It's something along those lines. And we do the exact same thing. We pick up bombs and medicine, and we head on out. Now, as was the case with the first game, once you get into the wild here, it starts out with an absolute banger for overworld music. Now, oh shoot, okay. So there's actually a way, so unlike the first Newtopia that we just speedrun, where we didn't give a damn about money, we very much do in this speedrun. We need to collect at least 300 gold before we get to the next town, because in that town is going to be a very, very important weapon that we need to buy that is going to make quick work of a whole bunch of bosses that we encounter in this game. So I'm going to be doing a lot of farming along the way that I normally really didn't do at all in the first one, save for trying to get the those magic rings. Now, the way that enemy drops in this game work is it's a little more rigid than it was in the first Newtopia, where enemies have their own unique drop tables where they have common, uncommon, and rare drops. Now, these kind of pig farmer soldiers, they can drop bombs, which we need. Unfortunately, we didn't get any, so we have to kind of just make it happen here, which is fine. Here we're going to a guy, and this is going to be a optional life upgrade. Again, you'll notice that the category for this is the 100%, and pretty much the criteria for this are virtually the same as what it was for Newtopia. All sword, shield, and armor upgrades, all permanent items, all bomb upgrades, and enough of the life upgrades to get you to that maximum. So because we didn't get a bomb drop, we have to pick up these guys. I refer to these as the bombs of shame. Oh well. This wastes maybe about like 6 or 7 seconds as opposed to getting them. One thing I'm going to demonstrate right now is damage boosts. Damage boosts are huge in this game. Your knockback is ridiculous, which is really annoying in most cases. However, in certain cases, actually can come in really handy. So you will see me demonstrate that. You saw me demonstrate it there. I'll actually do it in another room coming up soon here, where as soon as I walk into it, I'm going to take damage, but I'm going to hold in the direction opposite what I want to go, because that's the direction that you get hit, or that you move when you get hit. So that's what we want to see. Yo, shout outs to Scala Kitty. We actually were talking about you earlier. Big super fan of the Newtopia series and a contributor to commentary, artwork, lore, so on and so forth. Alright, so we're going to come into this room and immediately just boop, take the damage going that way. So things are kind of... things are a bit weird right now because I only have 80 gold and I have not gotten a single bomb drop. That's going to make some of these rooms a little longer, and it's also giving me a bit of a scare that I'm not going to have the cash that I need to get the boomerang that's going to be coming up in the not too distant future. As was the case with the first game, every single crypt that we're going to go into is going to have a key that is unique to it that we'll need to obtain in order to open the boss's door. Yo, you know what? I see a lot of people in here. Names I recognize. People who are fans of myself and or these speed games. So it's great to see you. We've got a whole just absolute mess of games coming up after this for the TurboGrafx 16 and its family that you absolutely do not want to miss. So it's great to see all of you here. Ooh, I'll take that money. I'll also take wings. Okay, wings are much more important. So it's funny, I actually just thought about this. In the first one, we use a bunch of rings and we use the wings once. In this one, we're going to use a bunch of wings and then the ring once. So, it's kind of... Ooh, 50 bucks, thank you. Kind of... Okay, I've got 180 now. That makes me feel better. I could have more. Could have more? Okay, 190. Alright. So, this is the first boss of the game. All the bosses, you see this text box? That's the boss, like, talking crap to you. They all do that in this game. It's great. This is Mecca Worm. Now, unlike the bosses in Newtopia 1, which had very little RNG and could be manipulated to the most part, this game basically turns that right on its head. We deal with an enormous amount of boss RNG in this game, and this right here is it's actually one of the better examples, I would say, because where it pops out of the ground and the direction that it's going, completely random. There is no pattern to it. So you just kind of hope that it doesn't spring up, first of all, right under your feet, where you take damage and you can't avoid it. But you also hope it's in a place where it does kind of more of those shallow jumps so that you can hit it more times. Alright, so when we finish crypts, we don't pick up medallions of wisdom like we did in the first one. Instead, we pick up stuff. This item that I just obtained is called the Chalice of Agony. I'm going to use this a couple times to get through what we need to do. Also, this game is much more, just generally speaking, is even more linear than Newtopia, where you don't have, like, you go into a sphere and then you can kind of go whichever direction you want. You have to do all of the crypts in a given order. So, it does kind of vary from the first game in that regard as well. Ooh, a bomb drop. I'd love to see that. The Immaculate Sequel. Yes, indeed. We get stuff. Stuff is good because it's useful. I wouldn't mind seeing another bomb drop, honestly. Cash is good. All right. This is going to be one of my last big opportunities to cash in, because these can drop 10, 50, or even 100 gold. That's signified by, like, a Scrooge McDuck money bag. Doesn't matter, though. 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 50 plus the 230 we already had is enough to get us the boomerang, so we are sitting pretty, folks. Alrighty, so a bit of backtracking, but then we can come on over here to the east. We can take that Chalice of Agony that we obtained from that first crypt and equip it. Talk to this guy who was like, "Whoa, that's a Chalice of Agony. Why don't you use it on all this lava here so we can get across?" So we got this Chalice of Agony spot, we use it. And the tears of all of those who have been agonized flow forth and turn the lava into solid ice. And we just walk right across. How neat is that? Oh, Sven, don't curse me like that. Come on. Don't jinx me like that. Alright, so here we go. Into the first town we go. Towns are very much a thing in this game that they weren't really in the first one. We're going to make 2 stops here. The first is going to be to talk to this shirtless gentleman here, who is going to sell us... This is not a Super Metroid Speed Booster. This is a boomerang. This boomerang is an absolutely lethal assault weapon that we will be using extensively throughout the game. We are also going to talk to this purple robe guy. What he's going to do is he's going to offer me a password. Now, this is pretty similar to what I dealt with in the first game, although there was no Book of Revival needed. Now, why those purple robe dudes are significant is for 2 reasons. First of all, when you talk to them, they refill your life, which is nice. But also, anytime you either die or use wings, you teleport back to the last one of them that you've talked to. So, we are going to use that mechanic in several spots to save a whole bunch of backtracking. Alright, so what we are doing here is we are going to be picking up a fan favorite from the first game. This will look familiar. This is the Fire Wand. Unfortunately, excuse me, it is not nearly as useful in this one as it is in the first one. A, just because of how they kind of like nerfed it, I guess, and B, because we have the boomerang, so the boomerang is pretty great. In fact, let's just go ahead and equip it right now. I went the wrong way. We can just go ahead and get these guys out of the way pretty quickly, or not. Hello. Okay. Wow. All right. Yeah, the Zelda Boomerang wishes it could do what this one does. Alright, high key hoping for bombs from these pig farmers, please. Damn it. Okay. That's alright. Bombs are going to be used extensively throughout this game. We are going to need a whole bunch of bombs, so getting them from drops is going to be critical to literally being able to complete this run. Not to make it easier or faster, to make it actually doable. Alright, so speaking of bombs, this guy is going to give me a bomb capacity upgrade. The unfortunate thing is that unlike the first game, while he will increase my bomb holding capacity, he won't refill my current bomb total, which is unfortunate because you need so many bombs in this run, and he doesn't do it, so... Bit of a troll move, but whatever. Alright, into the second crypt we go. Now you see there are those kind of brownish blocks as opposed to the lighter kind of like tan ones. We're actually about to get a lecture on those shortly from this guy right here who says, yeah, those brown blocks, they are deceitful. Daggers shoot out of them and can damage you. Please be careful, Jazeta. Push the block on the left. You can trust it. See, you get too close to it and those come out. Now, there were dagger blocks in the first one. However, the amount of time that the dagger stayed out in the first one is rather short compared to this one. So, and we deal with a whole lot more of them in this one than we do in the first one, so it is worth noting. Unfortunately, like the first, unlike the first one, you cannot skip the text of the prisoners in this, even if they don't give you anything. You have to sit there and listen to them drone on about whatever it is they're talking about. Drop the bomb, please. Ooh, I got bomb drop. We like it. There's our key, which is nice because it's right on the way. Ooh, I would like to have that, but... So that's a magic ring. We actually won't be using a magic ring until the very last crypt of the game. So It would have been great to have that, but I will have plenty of opportunities to get it in the meantime. Now, okay, so that is 100 gold right there. We don't need to buy anything more for the rest of the game. The only thing that we would really need to buy would be another boomerang if I lose my current one. Yes, I can lose my boomerang. I'm not going to assume that any of you here... I'm going to assume that all of you here know how a boomerang works. You throw it out, or how it's supposed to work. You throw it out, and it comes back to you, right? Well, that's the way it works in this game. However, if you throw the boomerang and it comes back to you, and you're not there to catch it, and it sails by you, you lose it permanently. And the only way to get another one back is to buy another one. So, with any luck... oh, can I get the quad, please? Dang it. With any luck, I won't have to deal with that in this game. Or in this run, excuse me. Ooh, bomb drop, I'll take that. So, you'll notice that when I throw the boomerang, typically I will stop moving. Or if I am moving, I will move consistently in a given direction such that even if I do get hit, I will get hit into the return path of the boomerang such that I will not lose it. You know, one other thing I should probably mention here, I'm sure you've already noticed it, I mean, we're 15 minutes into this run, is you notice that in this game, when it comes to movement, there are two pretty significant changes that have been made here. The first is that I can walk diagonally. The second is that I can move and stab or throw weapons or whatnot at the same time, whereas in the first Newtopia, while you were stabbing, you stopped moving. So, it's always interesting to run these games back to back because just kind of the mechanics for movement and all of that stuff between the two games, it's pretty different. So you don't want to try to move like one of the other games. All right, so here is our next boss. These are the mods. These are also very random. They can only take damage when they sit down like that and light up. So killing that in one cycle is very nice. You see the boomerang, the power of the boomerang on full display here. Probably only need to do just one more hit. Now, they only shoot down, so if you stay to their sides, they really can't do any damage to you. There we go. And that's it. Alright, we're going to equip those wings now, because as soon as we hit the ground coming out of the crypt, we are going to want to use them immediately. Because otherwise we could spend about a minute or so walking back to where we came from. Or we could just do this. And just walk on out, and that's it. So the next place that we need to go after getting the item at the end of that second crypt, which is called the Manipula Herb, we need to use it here in this town. So this is the Urius Shrine that the lady in the beginning of the game was telling us about. And what's significant about us coming here is that beyond this door that is being guarded is the princess. The princess has fallen ill and is essentially kind of like in a coma. However, we use the Manipula Herb and she makes a very, very quick recovery. Look at this. She's going to blink, 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 and just boom, hop out of bed. And then she's going to dump some lore on us. She's like, oh, hey, you're Jazeta's son. What's up? I have a feeling I know what happened with your dad. So why don't you follow me? I've got something to show you. And here we go. Urius Shrine, yes. So this is our goddess statue. I feel like she has something to do or knows something about your father's disappearance. Why don't you make a kind of a tributary donation of that Chalice of Agony and see what happens. The Chalice of Agony glows, a beam of light comes out of it, and it reveals a staircase. And we walk through it, and we move on. Alrighty, into the next town we go. Out of the next town we go. We'll be back there and doing stuff in there in a minute. Indeed, Prof. Ness. The direct inspiration, indeed. Yeah. Your name is okay. Interesting name. So we got a whole bunch of walking to do down here to get to the next crypt. So, actually, I'm going to mention this now. Normally speaking, this would be a great time for donations. However, in this marathon, we're not taking donations. And we do plenty of charity streams on RGL. We've done Feed the Kids. The Feed the Kids marathons. We've done a marathon to raise money for the American Spondylitis Association, among many other things. But this is not a charity marathon here. We're just doing this for the love of the game. We're just doing this to celebrate this fantastic console and this fantastic family of consoles, really, because it's just... It just deserves so much more love, and to have an event like this, which again is the first of its kind. If you can tell me about any other marathon that is dedicated to the TurboGrafx 16 that's ever been done, show it to me, because I don't think it exists. So we are just doing this because, you know what? Video games are awesome, and we're just here to celebrate that, plain and simple. Alrighty. So you see those blocks there? They're kind of diamond-shaped on the ground. Those are kind of like trigger plates. They will do various things. Typically, they're going to make certain blocks move up and down such that you can pass through them. Alright, time for Jazz Jr.'s death-defying trick, where he walks directly through two saw blades unscathed. So you see these purple wizards are returning. They are much different than they were in the first one for a couple reasons. First of all, they don't move nearly as fast. Second of all, they take a long time to telegraph their attacks, both of which are great. However, one thing which is not great is that they can disappear. And while they're disappeared, can't do any damage to them. So in rooms where you have to kill them to get through, it could be a bit of a waste of time. Is this better than Zelda? Absolutely. On the outside looking in, you might not know that. However, if you were playing these games, it would be readily apparent. Yes, this is a game that was made by Hudson Soft. Alrighty, so you saw I touched that trigger plate to get that block. I'm about to walk back over it right here to drop. If I didn't touch that plate, that block would still be up and I couldn't go past it. This is a sequel. This is Newtopia 2. Now, if you're talking about Newtopia 3, that's a bit of a touchy subject. There we go. Perfect. No bomb drop, unfortunately. So that blue crystal, what it does is it freezes all of the enemies in the room and instantly kills them. Now, this can be really nice for clearing out rooms quickly. However, enemies that are destroyed in that fashion will never drop anything. So there's going to be times where I will see those crystals and I'm actually going to intentionally not pick them up because I would rather kill all of the enemies in the room manually, even if it takes more time, because I want an opportunity to pick up some of those drops. So that's what that's all about. Ah, shoot. Alrighty. Ah, good. We did get a bomb drop. Love to see it. All right, we got to touch a tile there. Because it's gonna. Now you can see kind of that W-shaped pattern in this room. I cannot see that on my CRT that I'm using. So for those of you asking, hey, I see dark rooms here. Is there Moonbeam Moss in this game too? The answer is yes. But because there are so few dark rooms in this game that are difficult to deal with, we never use it. Okay, this is an absolutely shimmering example of boss RNG. This is Weirtoad. Weirtoad has 3 attacks. It's got that tongue lash, it's got those spores, and it's got another attack that I like to refer to as the Golden Brain. The Golden Brain is the only attack that it will do where you are allowed to deal any damage to it. Now, when you get these specific attacks, completely random. So you can actually kill it in one cycle of the Golden Brain. I was just kind of a little out of position. Or you could, I mean, I did a run the other day where I had to wait through at least 30 cycles because it just did not give me the cycle I needed in order to do damage to it, and you're just completely at its mercy. So that boss fight, honestly, could have been a minute longer than it was, and if so, there was nothing I would have been able to do about it. You just kind of have to wait it out. So it is a bit of a gatekeeper for runs if you're trying to, you know, if you're trying to do world record times. So, yeah. It can be rough. Thankfully, Weirtoad was relatively nice to me there. So the item that I picked up for Crypt 3 is another returning favorite, the Rainbow Drop. It does the exact same thing in this one as it did in the first one, and we are going to put it to use right away to pick up another fan favorite from the first one. Oh, also, this is what we like to refer to affectionately as Dope Beat Cave, and why it has that name should be rather self-explanatory. It did? Why did my mic go silent? I see it showing up in my... Can y'all still hear me? Hope so. Okay. So, again, another returning favorite here. The Falcon Shoes. Move a whole lot faster now, which is really nice. Back? Okay, cool. Good to know. All right. Oh, I was just chilling with the dope beats. As one does. Yeah, the trees waking up is kind of goofy. Alright, so what this guy is going to give me is actually going to be a cousin to the Fire Wand. As if the Fire Wand wasn't enough, it needed to bring its friends. This is the Wind Staff. We might use it in one particular place, otherwise it will just collect dust, and the whole reason why we're picking it up is because we have to for 100%. Make a little detour into here as well. Just shove this grandfather clock out of the way. Don't mind if I do. And pick up some Moonbeam Moss that we will never use. And then we pop on over here. Say hello to this purple-robed chap. Just come on out. Exactly. Alrighty, and now on to Crypt 4 we go. actually have to... In order to... This is like in the way in order for progress. Right here. You have to get this bomb upgrade, but we would get it anyway because it is the 100% category. Something that's new to this game as opposed to the first one is ice physics. Everybody loves some good ice physics, right? Well, if you don't love ice physics, then you're in luck because we're going to come in here and we're going to talk to this guy. And he's going to yammer on about this really cool thing he's about to give us, which is the snow boots, which completely nullify all ice physics. So we deal with it for what, like 3 or 4 screens? And then that's it. Now, fun fact, the snow boots also, on their own, have the same properties as the Falcon shoes. So in the any percent category, we can actually pick up just the snow boots and get the benefit from both. You do, Bald Nate? Okay, well, you can skip the snow boots if you're doing any percent. Alrighty. So you see the rainbow drop putting in work? Getting me across there. Alright, so into Crypt 4 we go. Crypt 4 is a fairly interesting one for a couple of reasons. This one is also fairly bomb heavy. You see, we're using 2 already. Push these out of the way. Hello? Alright, this is our second sword upgrade. This actually is going to... this is going to come with a very welcome increase in the amount of damage that we will do. So, the any percent route skips this sword, and it is not fun to not have it. So, any percent is not really a viable category of this game for marathons. The 100% route is worlds safer. So that's why we're doing this one. Alright, now some of the trigger blocks are going to do that, or the trigger tiles are going to do this as well, where it is going to reveal kind of these, the spikes that come out of the ground. So we're going to be dealing with that quite a bit too. Don't need that money. Okay, now I need one of these ghosts to give me wings. God, I couldn't even finish the sentence before they hooked me up. Oh, but I do need to kill them all too, so that kind of stinks. Alright. So we're going to do a detour here. Again, this is 100%, so we have to get what's in this treasure chest. This is another weapon. It's called the flail. The flail is a really unique weapon that is useless in pretty much all cases, except for one in particular where it is incredibly useful. So we will be sure to point that out when it comes up. Trigger blocks can also make these arrows shoot out of the wall. All kinds of fun effects. Oh, dang it. Tried to time it to get through there, but missed. A ghost homie, exactly. Let's see, we drop a bomb here. We drop a bomb here. I mean, just bombs galore. Perfect. Normally, it's close to impossible to do that room before the ghosts disappear, but the hourglass hooked us up. Speaking of hooking me up, I would love to see a bomb drop here from one of you wolfy boys. Alright, so this boss here, this is Roboid. This is a rare example in this game of a boss that can be completely manipulated. So we're going to bait out 4 of these punches. 2... There's the 4th. Now he's going to hit the floor. And shortly after that, we're going to throw a boomerang, and it's going to do a whole bunch of damage to him on the return trip. That was a beautiful throw. All right, now we're going to bait out 5 punches when we're standing to his right. 3. 4. 5. Now we're going to put it in place. Wait till he hits the floor. Throw the boomerang. Do damage on the way back. And 2 cycles. That's perfect. That's exactly how you want that fight to look every time. If that goes to a third cycle, it's a waste of about 15 seconds, which can be really soul-crushing if you're on pace. Like, let's say you had a really good Weirtoad, and then you come here and you 3-cycle Roboid. That's a punch in the gut. So fortunately, that didn't happen. Now, the stuff that we got from this one was that little blue face mask thing. It's called the Aqualung. This is going to allow us to breathe underwater, which is super convenient because we're taking the wings back to Purple Robe Homie here, and we're going to walk out, and we are immediately going to walk underwater. The theme here underwater is really cool. However, this is the only section of the game where we're going to hear it in the speedrun, and I'm going to get through here pretty quickly, so it's a shame we don't get to hear this more. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even cycle, like we're done now. Alright, so we're now into Crypt 5. Speaking of music, if you notice, the music in this crypt is different from the music that we've been hearing throughout the game before it, but it's also very familiar. Now, there's a reason for this, and we will see what that reason is coming up in a little bit. Ah, shoot. I got hung up on the half tile there with the bridge, which is something that happens a lot in this game. You have to be very precise about your placement when you're using this bridge in certain areas, because otherwise you can get hung up and just basically be stuck. Oh, shoot. I was facing the wrong way. Come on. Jump again. Gotta do that. Come here. Oh, I need my bombs. Only have 9. Okay, I'm gonna need more in pretty short order. Alright, these little blue things are teleporters. We're gonna step on it again, make those tiles go away. Those spikes go away, I mean. I tell you what, I have my own opinion, but you just heard the first one. You'll hear the second one at the end of this run, and I'll let you all draw your own conclusions. Form your own opinions, unfettered by my bias. All right, so we're taking a little detour here to pick up an armor upgrade, which is actually pretty welcome, honestly. Especially against this boss we're about to fight, which can otherwise do a lot of damage if you're not careful. Okay. Oops. Dearth 1 gang, nice. Oh, wow, really? So manipulating these little blue water droplet enemies is something that we do quite... Because we're going to be dealing with these for the rest of the game. And they can be very annoying otherwise if you don't make them, if you don't bend them to your will. Okay, so that's the ice crystal. You see, it killed the enemies that were on the screen, but it doesn't stop that hole from promulgating more of them. Alright, so you might recognize this enemy here. This is the Kraken that we saw from the opening cutscene of the game. We're going to lash this thing with the boomerang a couple times. Yeah, I don't want any of that smoke when that thing is out, because that could knock me out of the path of the boomerang. So we've defeated the Kraken, and it is going to shrivel up and do its death animation, and its death animation is going to be to morph into Jazeta. And we're like, hey, Dad. And he's going to be like, hey, son, listen. So I fought Dearth the first time. Apparently I didn't, like, kill him. So he's back. But I can't kill him a second time. So I'm going to need your help. Take this Sword of Legend, pick up where I left off, vanquish Dearth, and save all of Newtopia. Now, if you don't mind, I am going to take a nap. Back to Uria's Shrine. Now we're going to go to the left. And this guy's like, wow, cool sword. Walk through here. And this guy's like, wow, cool sword. Why don't you try jamming it into this rock here? And we're like, okay. And it's going to make this pathway crumble here. And away we go. More dope beats. Alrighty, into it. This is kind of an important town. We're gonna be coming back through here a few times. First, we're gonna go up here into another icy world here. Now, what's gonna be at the end of this icy world is Crypt number 6. Crypt number 6 is absurd. It's going to take me close to 10 minutes to get through it because it's just so long. But what makes it especially absurd is the number of bombs that you need to get through it. We will be using exactly 17 bombs on walls throughout this next crypt in order to get through it. It is absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to be relying heavily on enemy drops to get through it because if I don't get them, then I am stuck. So we are going to root for good enemy drop RNG. Fortunately, there are a good number of enemies in here from which you can farm. So there's opportunities aplenty, but those opportunities still need to avail themselves in order for us to be successful. But there's one. I'm actually going to take that now because I've already got a bomb drop. That is an example of a room where I might opt to fight enemies as opposed to killing them instantly. But because I already got one, I figure I'm good. You? Great. 2 bomb drops already is a beautiful sight. Oh, wow. Okay, I did not need to kill that enemy. Just because it appeared and moved right next to me, I figured I'd go ahead and kill it in the off chance that it dropped wings, and that's exactly what it did. So that's a huge get. The item drop RNG I've gotten in here already has been stellar. Also, big shout outs to my man and fellow RGL staff member Cyphrin for that raid. Everyone coming over for Cyphrin's stream, welcome to Retro Gaming Live TV, where you are currently watching Turbofest. It is a celebration all throughout today and tomorrow and yesterday, for that matter, of the TurboGrafx 16 and a lot of its games. We're going to be speedrunning a whole bunch of really cool stuff. I mean, later today, we've just got some awesomeness. So be sure to check out that schedule. Even if there's games on there you don't recognize, you're going to want to watch them just because it's a really cool opportunity to learn some stuff. All right, now, remember that flail I was talking about that sucks? Not against these enemies. The problem with the flail is that it does very little damage. Also, every time you use it, it consumes 10 gold. However, these cloud enemies, in order to break them up, you just need to do any sort of damage. And the absurd reach and covering, the ground that flail covers makes it absolutely ideal for dispatching them very quickly. Trying to fight those guys with your sword is a huge pain in the ass. So we just totally avoided that, which is great. These guys can drop bombs too, but they can also shoot me with arrows, and that's not fun. Life preservation is going to be very important for this crypt, just because it's so damn long. Like, there's just going to be so many opportunities for me to get hit that, just... I mean, it could just wear you down. You know, just a battle of attrition. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, oh my god. It is so satisfying to use that flail on them. Whoops, wrong way. Ah, shoot. I want to try to avoid these here. I'm trying to be slick and avoid them, and I can't. Unfortunately, with these here, there is no little corner that I can wait in. I just have to wait for them. Otherwise, I'm going to get boosted backwards, and that doesn't help anyone. All right, see if I can get by this blade before it comes back. Good. All right. If you move consistently, that's fairly automatic. All right. Here are more of these kind of Reaper guys that I could fight if I needed some wings, but because I already have one, I'm good. We can just move on. Drop a bomb. See, drop a bomb there. Drop a bomb there. Oh, guess what we're going to do in this next room? Well, in this room, we're going to walk across the bridge. In this next, like, room. In this one, when we get up here. Oh, guess what? Drop a bomb here. Sweet. Yeah, I mean, it's just stupid, the number of bombs you use in this crypt. But we get... Wow, okay. These orange dragons are being really, really nice to me so far. And I gotta say, I'm kind of happy about it. I'll avoid all those trigger tiles. Just push that block and get out of here. Look, okay, this is... Okay, so we're going to use a bomb on this wall. Grab the key. Totally necessary. Then, we're going to come down here and use... I mean, 2 bombs in one room. Like, come on, folks. What are we doing here? Besides using a bunch of bombs. That's what we're really doing. Let's go. Alrighty. Another flail use here. Now, fighting these guys is something that needs to be done very carefully. And the reason being is that in those small clouds drop table is an hourglass, which is going to freeze all of the enemies in the room for about 15 to 20 seconds. Now, during that time, if you have any clouds that are not fully split into their smallest forms, they will stay, like, officially unsplit until time runs out. So, and the flail grabs the items that enemies drop. So if you grab an hourglass before you're ready for it, then you're sitting there and you're waiting. And, you know, just, I mean, that is just time that is just bleeding away that you can do nothing about. And that is agonizing to experience. So, yeah. So, game decided to switch it up and chain up a young woman in here. This is another princess who says, here, I'm going to give you this flute. You're going to need it later. And we're like, okay. Oops, already got the bombs on. And we just bomb this wall, as we are wont to do. Again, drop a bomb here. Drop a bomb here. Just dropping bombs everywhere, folks. It's just what we do. You know, I don't know, Mac Marvel. It's just one of those things. Now, normally you'd have to teleport down here. However, you can walk on the seam in between the two and not get affected by either. That saves a good amount of time. See if we get a bomb drop here. We do. Good. 16's our maximum, so I can just leave that other one. Doesn't matter, because we're going to use a bomb here. And we're going to use a bomb here. And we're going to cross over. She'll be fine. Yeah. I already have wings. Had I not gotten them before, that would have been real hype. Alright, so we're going to take a little bit of a detour here that we're just doing because this is a marathon. And we're going to pick up a second potion. It is possible to basically get through this game and the final boss with only... dang it. With only one. But we're going to get to just in case. And I am not going to beat that fire, so I'm not even going to try. Alrighty, gotta push this. And just for good measure, right before the boss, we use one more bomb. Oh, and we also are going to switch over to our boomerang because... hello? That was strange. Okay, cool. Alright, so now this boss does have random movement. However, she also just absolutely melts against the boomerang. So we're just going to stand here, throw it at her ear, and you see her face is going to disintegrate, and she's going to actually run into it on the return path there and die in 2 throws, which is ideal. Alright, we have another returning favorite from the first game. This is the Belle of the Sky. It isn't quite as potent as the one in the first game, but it is it is definitely useful. We're going to use it right away to get teleported up here. This is the Sun Flare. We're going to turn this in right away. But before we do, we need to stop by and pick up one little thing here. Oh, so what we were told about in that crypt was that the Evil Dearth has his lair here. Oh, by the way, we're using the flute. We use this flute right here, and for some reason, the sound of the flute breaks up this ice and allows this golem to come on out. Who was like, oh, that mean old Dearth, he trapped me under here, he sucks. Here, take this medallion. Now, speaking of the medallion, we were told in that crypt that we need to collect 4 medallions in order to open the way to Dearth's lair so that we can confront him again. So we got 1. We're about to get 2 more in pretty short order here. But before we do that... Excuse me. Before we do that, we got to stop in here, visit this blacksmith. He is going to take the legendary sword we got from Dad, as well as that sun flare that we just picked up, and we are going to get the Sun Sword. This is the strongest sword in the game, and for the most part, is going to make the boomerang obsolete in a lot of applications. However, there is one particular area where it's going to be very useful. All right, so this is, to me, the most annoying part of 100%, because we already picked up the Fire Staff, and we picked up the Wind Staff. This is the Thunder Staff. This thing sucks. It's virtually useless. I'm not even going to use... There's no point in even using it in the run. It's just... It's horrible. So... But we got to get it, so... There it is. Alright, now... Whoops. I meant to take the damage, but not that way. So we're going to take a bunch of damage boosts here. And the reason being is we want to set up for an intentional death after we collect a certain item here. So this is going to be our 3rd and final bomb capacity upgrade. No love. I'll take another boost there. In fact, I'll take several boosts here because the other enemies that I encounter are not going to do as much damage as these guys. There we go. Okay, that should be fine. Alrighty, so this is the crazy scientist Nanyo. You can see he's underground. Like, we burned a tree to get to his place, but he's got, like, all these computers and stuff. He's like, oh, you need to go into the volcano? Take this magic hand. It will grant you access. Don't ask me how or why that works, but it just does. Nanyo is smarter than we give him credit for. So we take the intentional death, and all it does is just bring us back to this guy. Because we already used the wings after we got the the medallion from the ice golem. Unfortunately, there's not an opportunity to get another set of wings between that usage and that place. So the death warp is the next best thing. All right, so we're gonna go on a very small boss rush here, where the next two quote-unquote kind of dungeons that we go into are basically just going to be boss fights. Basically. So here we go, with the magic hand. We get the stairway into the volcano. These are, in my opinion, are the most annoying enemies in the game. Their hitboxes are super weird, and they love to do this, where they float around the top of the screen and are impossible to hit. I've also taken a lot of damage already. I need to keep an eye on this. Ooh, there's a ring. That's good. Okay. Also is my boomerang. All right. So here's the salamander. Big, mean salamander. Throw a boomerang at it. Throw it again. Hit once, twice, turn around, stab him a couple more times, and he's done. That's just how you deal with them. Very, very easy boss to deal with. Go, take care of a trap. There's our second medallion, and we just walk out next room, and we're done. Very easy, right? Okay. Enjoy the easy stuff while it lasts. Because what's coming up here is easily the most annoying boss in the game. It is heavy on RNG, and we just pray that it doesn't just troll the crap out of us. Or make us lose our boomerang. Where'd the hand come from? None your business. Oh, that is fantastic. I love that. That is really, really funny. Alright, so we burn some trees and go down in here. We gotta fight these kind of Cyclops ogre enemies. Don't really need that, but I'll pick it up just as force a habit. See, that's what they can do, is they can stun you in place. Alright, here comes Zorbon. I'll explain it when I'm done, because I need to concentrate. Come on. Oh, thank you. I need to split this one twice, don't I? Oh, beautiful. Alright. So the way that Zorbon works is that when it is jumping around and shooting, you can't do anything to it. You can't do damage, you can't split it, anything like that. The only time that you can split it or do damage to it is when it is scooting around on the floor. And then you can hit it either with your sword or, as you see there, with your boomerang. The boomerang is very effective in splitting it instantly. Now, the problem with that is that if at any point while it's scooting around on the floor, you are in the same either X or Y axis coordinate as it, it will immediately stop scooting and will start its bouncing cycle. So, the best way to deal with that boss is to throw the boomerang diagonally at it while it's scooting and split it apart, which is an extremely scary thing to do because it's so easy to just get bounced a goofy way and have that boomerang go sailing right past you. And if it does, the rest of that fight is much more difficult, and the boss we're going to fight in this next crypt here is made much more difficult without the boomerang as well. So, the fact that we got through that relatively quickly, it was kind of trolly on that last jumping pattern, but other than that, it was fine. And we kept our boomerang is a big, big win. So, yeah. As Zorbons go, that one was pretty good, especially in a marathon. Alright, so here we go into Crypt 7. Ah, beautiful. I don't need anything those things drop, so getting that crystal was perfect. Alright, this room is particularly annoying because in order to open that door on the left, which I will need to go through eventually, I need to kill all of these enemies. Now you'll notice here that there's 2 tiles of water in between me and them, so I can't walk up to them and stab them with my sword. I have to kill them with some sort of projectile weapon. They just have to get in the path of it, which they don't always do, which is not fun. Oh, jeez, come on, get out of my way. And if you thought I was done using bombs, you are wrong. We now have the strong... Okay, so I've got the strongest... I've got the golden sword, or the sun sword. I picked up the golden shield in the previous crypt. Now I have the golden armor. You actually need to have all 3 of those pieces of equipment if you want to get to the final floor of the final crypt. So they... Whether it be 100%, any percent, or a casual playthrough, those three items are all required. All right, so we can use the bell a little bit here. It unfortunately will not override. All it overrides is rooms where you need to push a block in order to open a door. If you need to kill enemies in a room, you still need to do that. But here, all I need to do is push that block up top. But instead, we're going to ring the bell and just mosey on through. Okay, if any of you guys would like to drop a crystal, that would be divine. Or not. Okay, that's cool. I can go all the way down into the corner to kill you. Not a problem. Not a waste of my time or anything. I so often try to press myself up against that wall and ring the bell through it, and that just does not work. Ooh, I'll actually take that, because we're going to be taking a lot of damage against this boss coming up here, so the more health I have going into it, the better. Ideally, you do not want to use a potion during that boss fight, especially if you only have one, because otherwise it puts you in a real tight spot for the final crypt. All right. Push that block at the bottom or ring the bell. Easy choice. Oh, come on. These guys can actually drop hearts. So hopefully I get one. No, cool. Crystal on the last enemy of the room. Okay, so this is Sorfloid. Sorfloid is going to move around randomly. However, the timing of when it opens up and I can do damage to it, that's a set pattern. So we kind of just got to wait. You just got a kind of an internal clock that you wait for, and shoot. Unfortunately, he boosted me out of the way, so I couldn't get to the spot that I needed to throw the boomerang to do damage to it. It should open up about now. I was a little early. Oh, come on, come on. Die, please. Oh, okay. If it goes more than 3 cycles, this is not ideal. I should be killing it very soon. There it is. I only needed 1 more hit. Jeez. Okay, whatever, that's fine. That was a slow Sorfloid, but we didn't have to use a potion, so that's the win. Alright, here's Princess Kea again. She's like, yeah, I got trapped, but whatever. Okay, but here, I got some good news. I've got your 4th medallion for you. You are ready to go and confront Dearth, so get to it. And we will. We will. Alrighty. But the first thing that we do, or the one thing that we do before we get into that crypt, is something that is required in order to satisfy our... jeez. To satisfy our 100% category. My goodness, these guys are just getting right in my way, and I'm not a fan of it. We're going to get our final life upgrade. That is the maximum amount of life that we are capable of having. So with that, aside from defeating the final boss, we have satisfied all of the conditions for the 100% category of Newtopia. So away we go. Get to hear this great track for just like a couple screens, which is unfortunate, but All right, so we fix one here. So this is kind of a throwback to the first one where you got to take those medallions and affix them into a specific place. All right, and then into the final crypt we go. This room really sucks because you got to fight these things that are flying around freely, and the layout of this room is extremely awkward. You see there's even like those spikes that can come up. So unless these kind of Reaper things like give you a friendly pattern, that room can take a long time. Fortunately, they were fairly nice. Also, we have these blocky boys here. These are going to be all throughout the crypt. They look like normal blocks, but they will wake up, take a bunch of damage, and just make your life miserable. All right, here's another example of a room where, hey, I need to kill this stuff, but I can't get over there to hit it with my sword. So what I want to do is kind of lure them down into the corner. Ah, nice. Okay, now, what we also want to do is hit them with the fire wand. Now, you'll notice that I'm hitting them, and you see how I'm turning down like that? When they take damage from the fire wand, they will get boosted in the direction that you're facing at the time they take damage. So it's kind of a way to kind of pull them down so that I can stab them with the sword, which is going to do way more... Oh, beautiful. That's going to do way more damage than anything else I have in my arsenal. So, gotta get them close. All right. One more use of the flail here to deal with the cloudy boys. Oh, good. They're all split up, which means that no worry about getting locked by the hourglass. Oh, stop. Ooh, I'll actually take that heart, though. Oh, and another one. Nice. Oops, that's right. I gotta push that out of the way. Okay. So we got these flying squirrel enemies here. They're really cute. Look at them. They're also evil. I hate these damn things. They're actually being really nice and just sitting in the corner and letting me murder them. However, I find them so awful and so repugnant that I am going to take extreme measures to deal with them a little later on in the crypt. I'm ignoring that bomb because we don't actually need all that many to get through this one. So the need to constantly replenish our supply is not nearly as important. Hello, let's go through. Speaking of bombs, we're going to drop one here. Ain't got no time to push blocks, so we use the bell. Okay. Oh my god, just let me drop the bomb, please. Alright, yeah. Scary saw blade room. Nope, we're just going to go around, walk across here, and just step on the stairs. Alright, now, all these things flying in my way. Nope, we're going to use the ring, turn them into little blobs, and we're done. That makes that room like 50 times faster. Trying to kill all those things when you got spikes coming up and out of the floor and all that stuff, and they're bouncing all over the place. You're kind of in more cramped quarters. You don't have as much room to move around. Is really awful. So we take care of that room rather quickly, and it's a good thing. Yo, is this the RPG chick in the TurboGrafx 16 Marathon of the Ages? I think so. I think so. Alright, we got our key. Even with all the other stuff that we have to collect here, you still need a key for this crypt too. Use the bell, makes it life easier. Ooh, wow, I'm really lucky I didn't get hit there. Ah, shoot. I meant to move further to the right. Oh, well. All right. Now, this room can be very tricky. If you let any of these blocky boys get to your left, this room becomes very chaotic. So, good. We corralled them nicely. There we go. All right, we're actually getting fairly close to the end of this crypt. Oh, thank you for not hitting me. Step on it. Excellent. Give me bombs. It's actually the last bomb that we need to use for the rest of the game. All right, so this guy, if you do not have the golden shield, the golden armor, and the sun sword, he turns you away. And this door that I'm walking through right now will not be open. So that's your checkpoint for all that stuff. Ooh. Nice. A ring. We can actually use this in this next room here. These things take way less damage than those blocky boys, so that saves us some time. All right. Here we go. Dearth fight time. This is going to be much different from the Dearth fight. There's a lot of randomness to this. What he's going to do is he's going to steal my 3 staffs and use them against me. So I'm going to concentrate on this, but I'm also going to let you enjoy the hot jams. I'm not responsible for any melted headphones. Unlike the first game, time is on the final hit of Dearth. The wind is the last one you want to see. Oh, you gotta get by it twice, come on. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, cat jams in chat, please, come on. Lightning is nice because he reappears quickly after he does it. So you want to see that all the time. Why it was good to get both potions. I would have died otherwise. There it is, that's time. Wow, a 111. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, so the evil Dearth collapses. He gets buried under a pile of rocks. We drop the sword on there, you know, just for swag. However, it draws on the power of the 4 crystals, and we see Dad again, who says, "Good job, son. Thank you for doing the job that I couldn't, and for your reward, you will be infused with my spirit. Now go brag to everyone in Newtopia about what a badass you are." And yeah, and that's it. And then it's credits time. So here we go. Well, I tell you what, folks. A few things. First of all, thank you very much for the GGs. I see plenty of those in chat. Second of all, for perspective, the world record for 100% is a 109, like 20 something? I don't know. This is about 2-ish minutes off the world record. So back-to-back marathon runs of the 100% categories of Neutopia 1 and Neutopia 2 that were really, really good. So that's great to have a good showing, kind of get us caught up a little bit more, and yeah, that's always fun. All right. If you enjoyed what you were watching here, if you enjoyed these games, maybe want to learn the runs, anything like that, please do give me a follow on my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. I play games like this all the time. These two are like my main speed games, you know, world records, you know, great runs, all kinds of stuff like that. So if you want to see more of that, then by all means, check me out there. That would be super awesome. What we got coming up next, though, I want to talk about. First of all, it's my man Enemy, who is a great speedrunner, a huge enthusiast of the TurboGrafx 16, and really he's kind of the head honcho for putting this together. So much love, respect, and admiration for Enemy for doing all of this, because this is just such a magnificent marathon. It's such a unique marathon, and it's just a great opportunity for a lot of folks on Twitch to get to see a whole bunch of games that they've never even heard of, let alone seen, and maybe discover something new. So the spirit of what Enemy is doing here is absolutely magnificent, and I salute you for that, sir. But he's going to be coming up next, and what he's going to be doing is he is going to be running essentially a Formula 1 racing RPG. Yes, you heard me correctly. A F1 RPG. It's called Final Lap Twin. It's an absolutely magnificent, silly game, and I cannot wait to see Enemy do this. So do me a favor. Stick around because, and even beyond what Enemy's doing, we got some other really great stuff going on tonight and all of tomorrow too. So you don't want to miss it, folks. For those of you that are here, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see all of you folks around soon, whether it be on my channel, for the rest of Turbofest or whatnot. And that's going to do it for me. So everyone, thank you so much for your time. And until I see you again, take care, everyone.